So, und damit hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer wunderschönen neuen Runde Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment. Neuer Tag, ein neuer Fall, den wir 100 Pro diesmal richtig haben werden. Habe ich jetzt mal so spontan entschieden. Die Affäre Abbey Grange. Ja gut, jetzt wissen wir aber schon mal, dass sie ihn betrügt. Fall gelöst.
The game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
Keine Ahnung, was soll ich denn jetzt machen? Das haben wir übrigens mitgenommen. Den Silberdolch habe ich behalten. Muss ich jetzt nicht den Eisdolch behalten haben. Keine Aufgaben. Das ist immer noch das Gleiche. Warum ist das irgendwas, was ich nicht verstehe, weil ich die Bücher nie wirklich gelesen habe?
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
Ich kann auf jeden Fall hier erstmal umziehen. Zwar einmal, wenigstens einmal im Detektiv-Outfit. Ich bin zwar kein großer Fan davon, aber was schön, wenn wir das machen. Das müsste Das müsste, wenn dann der braune Anzug sein. Und die entsprechende Mütze. Scheiße, Holmes mit Glatze. Gar nicht. Oh, das ist aber schade.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should...
Und da laufen wir halt wieder im Standard dunklen Anzug rum. Mit unserer Standardmütze.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Und ein Brief. Die müssten hier hinten liegen. Kein kommt von der Polizei. Boah. Der erste stirbt halt. Pech gehabt. High Society. Jetzt aber beides Sachen, die wir schon hatten. Weil ich wahrscheinlich weiß, falsch war, aber das nicht machen können.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Welchen Tisch? Kann ich eigentlich schon rausgehen? Nee. Das ist eine Unordnung hier.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look. The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should
Nee,
take a
aber
look.
kein Brief. Ja, so.
The letter is on the table.
Aber ansonsten, ich weiß es.
Take a look.
This is where I keep my post.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Ein Tisch? Ja, aber wo auf diesem Tisch? Sehen wir vielleicht.
The letter is on the table, Holmes.
Trotzdem, ich weiß es, ich sehe es nur nicht. Nicht zu viel rum. Den Tisch.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Da hat die Klinge hier.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Ach, hier. Nehmen wir den Tisch. 5000 Tische.
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
Dann drehen wir das hier mal um und machen es mal auf.
The Brackenstall family coat of arms. A wax seal with the monogram E.B.
Mensch. Willkommen. Nichts bemerkenswert zu werden verspricht. Was soll das alles genauso bleibt, wie es in vorgefunden habe? Ein weiterer Mordversuch, wie es ausschaut.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always, it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Machen wir mal direkt hin. Das ist der nächste Notfall. Das kann ja was werden.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid to raise a right.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Im Sinn, wenn ich jemanden im Endeffekt töten würde, dann würde ich doch wenigstens dann die ganze Blutlinie
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Auslöschen. Genau sowas wäre da nämlich nicht passiert, dass wir hier angekommen werden.
Sir Warthen Brackenstall. Lord Brigham Brackenstall. Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Okay, dann wollen wir mal erstmal schauen, was er hat. Auf jeden Fall ein blaues Auge. Das ist ganz schön jung, das Mädel. Kleidung, ja gut. Heiratet. Wenn das draußen eins von den Porträts war, dann da hat man sich ja ganz schön Unterschied. Hier die Finger wieder. Alte Verletzung. Auch die Brosche. Australierin ist die gute.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you... Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control.
Jemand, der Frauen schlägt, also schon mal kein sympathischer Mensch.
Sir Eustace was a drunkard.
Ein
To be
Alkoholiker,
tied to
noch
such a man
sympathischer,
for
also noch
life
weniger
is
sympathisch.
worse than death.
Unsympathischer, das war das,
Did
was ich
these three
gesucht hatte.
villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Your ladyship? Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
Das Verhalten, ja gut. Eine Blutspur, okay. Und die Flecken. Ein Tuch.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
Ist das verdächtig? Schon mal trotzdem erstmal, wie viel. Gibt es nur 3 Verdächtige am Ende?
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame. This
safe.
is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it. This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
Bestimmt hinten drauf. Ach ja.
So the lady
Australien.
and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
Ja, nimm einfach das Bild mit. Alles gut, Kollege. Einfach das Bild mitnehmen, das passt schon.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship?
Hier. Mal alles.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
Schick. Gefällt mir ja. Ich glaube, jetzt ziehe ich ein. Ein neues Anwesen.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me. A fur trader's cabin.
Hier haben wir
Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me.
Jetzt kann ich Tobi
This
holen.
is the chair that Lady
Ich kann Tobi
Brackenstall
nutzen.
was tied to. The hunting scene. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France.
Ich auf jeden Fall geklaut.
A bottle of wine is missing here. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents.
Aber warum soll ich
The
nur
criminals
Steck
did not
klauen?
thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
Hat ja mal gar keinen Sinn. Die glänzt.
The hunting scene.
Blümchen. Wie geht's dir heute? Schon ausgeschlafen?
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
That must be the murder weapon.
Warum ist da dann kein Blut dran? Wäre das die Mordwaffe? Ja, aber hier 100 pro Blut in der Ecke. Oder hier vorne. Dort unten.
The head was cracked with the force of the blow. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon. Barefoot, he had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress. It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation.
Das schaffst du, wirst du doch schon haben. Jetzt habt ihr das kann heute auch kein Deutsch. Wirst du 100 pro irgendwie schaffen, den Haus zu schmeißen. Da kommst du 100 pro hin. Ja, hier. Angeblich mit dem Schnürhaken. Ich glaube da noch nicht dran. Was zugestorben ist. Und dann das. Wenn ich jemand eine Platzwunde am Kopf verschaffe, dann ist meistens an der Waffe auch Blut. Auf jeden Fall. Ich sage, auf jeden Fall war es immer so. Nee, ich kann konsequent kein Deutsch.
A decant. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible
Ich kaum spreche, das brauche ich auch kein Deutsch sprechen. Ich schreibe ja eher.
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. Chateau Calon-Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear.
Abgeschlossen.
The death was instant.
Diese muss ich auf jeden Fall nochmal erfragen.
I've searched outside for footprints.
There are 3 glasses on the
Das
dining
genau,
room
damit ich wieder mal ein bisschen mehr
table.
Deutsch
I was
rede.
wondering if
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They
Genau
talked
sieht es
together in
lustigerweise
whispers,
aus.
and then they left.
your ladyship.
Please leave my Mary alone. She's suffered so much, she deserves some rest.
Und die Times. Läuft die Randalbande ist wieder unterwegs.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
Versuche so wenig wie möglich zu telefonieren, besonders nicht über FaceTime. Das ist ganz schlimm. schaue immer, dass ich, auch wenn ich leider ab und zu mal telefonieren muss, ich würde auf das Ding gehen. Das ist es. Versuche ich dann doch immer so selten wie möglich zu telefonieren. Ich glaube, es war eine Inszenierung zwischen, also von der Lady und dem Dienstmädchen. Definiere Telefon. Hat weniger was mit Telefonierangst zu tun, sondern eher mit der Tatsache, dass ich nicht die Mimik der Person beim normalen Telefonieren sehe. Und ich abgrundtief somit nichts interpretieren kann. Und das ist immer das Schlimmste. Schreiben ist das immer was anderes. Da hört man nicht, da sieht man nichts. Da liest man nur, da kann man alles interpretieren, wie man möchte. Beim Telefonieren hört man aber was, man sieht aber nicht den dazu passenden Gesichtsausdruck.
Let us see how the rope was cut.
Ja, genau, der normale Kopf, ich glaube, das hatten wir schon mal. Ich glaube, das kann man direkt erstmal weglassen.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
An sich ja, aber für mich ist das irgendwie relativ nahezu alles ähnlich.
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the
Gerade auch
original.
normal telefonieren oder FaceTime, das ist beides schrecklich. Toby muss ich
Come on,
mitnehmen.
Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold.
Fälle, die festgestellt worden sind. Aber bei mir ist es wahrscheinlich wirklich so, dass vieles nicht festgestellt worden ist, weil ich einfach nicht zu irgendeinem Arzt gehe. Außer es ist zu spät. Ich gehe normalerweise immer erst dann, wenn es zu spät ist.
Search, Toby.
Auch cool, kann ich jetzt Toby spielen? Auch cool. Sekunde. Ich sage, darf den Hund spielen. Genau. Wenn man sich damit abgefunden hat, dass man so oder so nichts mehr retten kann.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Wenn zum Arzt gehen. Deadlines sind schon was Schönes.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Ich muss auf jeden Fall nachher noch einen Kumpel schreiben. Aber es ist am Ende immer so, unter Druck arbeitet der Mensch oder halt in dem Fall ich einfach besser.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
Unterdruck. Ich kann bis Startup es hat wirklich nur geschafft, unter Druck einigermaßen gut zu arbeiten.
This hook might be useful. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Ich kann auch ohne Druck akzeptabel arbeiten, aber unter Druck ist dann doch mal ein bisschen was anderes.
This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty. Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
Silberbesteck.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence.
Ja, auch da ähneln wir uns wieder, was die Perfektion angeht.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Ja, es ist immer so schön, wenn man etwas macht, dann macht man es gefälligst auch richtig. Ich glaube, das wird ein relativ kurzes Ding. Was sagt denn ihr nachmachen? Ich bin älter als du, also wenn, dann machst du es mir nach.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Die waren's zusammen.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Ich hab von uns beiden den Ahlentitel, gell?
Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
Das mal nochmal von vorne an.
Let us try this safe.
Ja, Göttin der Selbstzerstörung. Wenn du die Göttin bist, dann wäre ich ja der Gott. Machen wir's. Eine Menge Geld. Erst meine wunderschöne Nase, jetzt mein wunderschöner Kiefer, also ich bitte dich. Ach, alkoholkrank war der Gute.
Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
Und die beiden Sachen gerade. Oh, ich kann jetzt noch mal bestimmt mit den Mädels quatschen. Alles gut.
Oh, what a horrible thing.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behaviour.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was specially hard for her.
Gezwungenes Leben und. Ne, das passt. Ein Tatverdächtiger fehlt uns ja hier noch. So eine Person fehlt hier noch. Könnte vom Aussehen her jemand sein. Zerstörst du denn wohl deinen Wohnort in relativer Häufigkeit? Das heißt mal wieder.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Und? Oh Leute, das war schon. Das heißt, ganz kurz, die dritte Person war dann der Squad. Er kommt in diesem Fall vor. Die tut's nicht. Alle Hinweise und trotzdem fehlt mir eine Person.
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about it.
Ich muss mal ganz kurz schauen. Nicht, dass ich hier irgendwas übersehe.
Have you found something interesting?
Es würde wirklich stark interessieren, wer hier die dritte Person ist. Ich hoffe, ich kriege das heraus, wenn ich dann den Fall beende. Weil jemand anderes haben wir jetzt nicht mehr. Da lag zu wenig Blut dran, also das muss richtig sein. War 100% inszeniert. Im Bild. Komm, wir machen es kurz. Der Kollege war permanent besoffen. Wir lassen Gnade walten. Kurzer Fall heute.
Ladies, I know the full story. You are both guilty, are you not?
Mr. Holmes, I can explain everything.
No, madam, he's bluffing.
It is no use. Your husband was a violent man, a cruel man. Your argument last night ended tragically, with him stumbling and falling, fatally striking his head upon the fireplace grate. However, your mise en scène to divert suspicion was unnecessary. You should have admitted the truth.
The truth is often subjective, Mr. Holmes.
Not to me.
What will you tell Inspector Lestrade?
He will find nothing, as he handed the case over to me. Farewell, ladies.
Jetzt kommt wenigstens, lass die wenigstens diesen Fall jetzt
Inspector,
richtig sein.
I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Nein, es fehlt halt eine Person. Und das ist halt das Weirde. Es fehlt eine Person. Aber... Stopp. Es fehlen 2 Hinweise und dann ist doch kein häuslicher Unfall gewesen. Ich würde die anderen beiden Hinweise noch gerne machen. Irgendwas fehlt also noch. Ich möchte auf jeden Fall wenigstens die anderen beiden Hinweise haben. Ich hätte wirklich gesagt, das ist, wenn dann, der häusliche Unfall gewesen. Guck mal. Verdächtigen Siemens. Aha, clever. Dann muss man mit Lestrade reden. Das heißt, am Ende 2 Hinweise fehlen noch. Ich bin vielleicht dann doch kein so guter Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes, don't look at
Ich
me
bin doch
like that.
mindestens einen Fall.
I don't know what to
Oh, what a horrible...
Please leave my Mary alone.
Kann ich bestimmt wieder mit Dingenscreens tun. Ja, das ist halt schon schön hier. Im Jungen.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Wie soll ich denn bitte Seemänner noch finden?
A map of London.
Guck mal. Das hätten wir auch noch. Oh Gott, 93 müssen wir hin.
My search must be focused upon the ship's name and year of voyage.
Arsch. So, hier kann ich ändern.
Here it is. The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Ja, jetzt mal gucken. Tisch.
I left it right on the table for you.
This list shows the
Muss ich
senior
merken, dass ich
officers
wirklich
of the
alle
Rock
Personen
of
habe.
Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her
Das,
maid
wenn alle Personen
made
da
their
sind.
voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
Okay, wen haben wir denn? Ja,
This
gut, das
officer
hätten wir.
is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
Doch auf den. Ach, falscher Nachname.
This
Yeah, it
officer
is.
was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime. Mr. Jack
dabei?
Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days. This officer is
Walker.
still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Hat der Willi nicht auch hier noch drauf? So.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at
Wegstreichen.
sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Und den
This
kann man weg.
officer was on a ship. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Wohin? Noch nichts weiter? Nee. Tinte.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right, if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Niemandstoten.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Nee, perfekt.
Now I understand.
Die letzten beiden. Ich nehme trotzdem mal das andere Ende wieder. Ich weiß zwar, das Ende ist falsch, aber egal. Aber wir haben jetzt das und das heißt, ein oder zwei Fälle werden wir noch haben. Ja, da hat man schon mal, und ich weiß, es ist falsch, aber alles 16 von 16 und das ist das, was wir erreichen wollen. 3%, ja, weil der Rest wahrscheinlich den auch geswitcht hat. Aber das passt schon so.